Hi, I'm Ryan Eversley, driver of the number 69 HART Racing Team Acura NSX, and I'm alongside my teammate. What's your name?
Name is Chad Gilsinger, also known as the Gunslinger.
The Gunslinger, exactly. So we're here at Daytona. We'll be racing the NAEC in IMSA with our Acura NSX, and Chad and I have teamed up before. We've raced in the Continental Tire Series. There you go. And we've won races and podiums, and I think we finished second or third in the championship a couple years ago.
Yeah, second.
Yeah. So basically, I wanted to kind of introduce you to the team and explain a little bit of what the HART team is, because it's a factory effort, but it's not factory exactly. Talk about how HART, what it really is.
Yeah, so we don't do racing as our core job, but the factory side of it comes from the fact that we all work basically at the factory or our R&D facility. We all work on the normal street cars that you see, the Odysseys, the MDXs, TLXs, and then after hours, after we get off of work, we go to work again with the race team and do the motorsports side.
Yeah, so essentially they're full-time employees at Honda, not in the motorsports side at all, and then in their spare time or vacation days, like this weekend, they come down and play with race cars. So based on that, that probably makes me the only paid person here in theory.
Yeah, we'll see if you get your check or not.
Right, exactly. So talk a little bit more about how excited the guys are to come here, because like you said, they work on the street cars and then they get to come here. Their time off is spent against the biggest GT field in the world, essentially, at this race in particular.
Yeah, well, this has always been my dream ever since I started driving, and fortunately, a lot of the other guys on the team share the same dream. I mean, we all wanted to get to the pinnacle side of motorsports in North America. This is basically about as good as it gets as far as sports car racing is concerned. Up until now, we didn't have a good platform to get here. The Civic obviously would struggle out here. So, once the NSX was announced, we started the wheels turning with the team and put together proposals, and, here we are.
And so this car behind us, our Acura NSX, it actually started life as a street car, and it was built in the PMC. What's the PMC?
Correct. PMC stands for Performance Manufacturing Center. It was a new factory created solely for the NSX, and the NSX was also designed and developed in Ohio at R&D. So I was on one of the teams for the R&D side of things, and then we have a lot of members here that was on the engineering side for the factory, and then we have members here that actually work in the factory and put the car together.
So pretty neat building, built specifically to produce the NSX here in North America. Really proud of that, everybody here. So we asked earlier for you guys to send in a couple of questions on Twitter and Instagram and things like that, and so we'll just kind of run through a handful of them real quick. Michael Rennick asks, how are the Continental tires, sorry, I have to do it, you're going to ask about it, in the cold? How are they doing with the track being super cold? Because right now it's like an ambient 36 degrees.
Yeah, eventually they get up to temp and it's okay, but in the beginning you're on pins and needles. Yeah. Fortunately, I've gotten in the car where they've already been kind of cycled. I guess you could probably answer a little bit more from starting out, but definitely the temperature is a factor, and it takes a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah, we don't use tire warmers in this series for some reason. When it gets really cold, apparently they're too expensive for our $500,000 race car. Anyways, next question is, how long has the HART team been racing, and are they doing it for passion, or are you trying to make a living?
As you mentioned earlier, none of us make a single penny off of this. We all do it out of passion and honestly love for our product, love for the company and the company's past. But we started in 1989. The team started by some engineers. They went to Nelson Ledges of all places and watched a 24-hour club race and realized that it was basically all just street cars with some roll cages in them. So they put a proposal together knowing Honda's racing passion and background. Fortunately, they had some executives that were excited to throw some money at it, and here we are.
Yeah, one of the things Chad's told me before is that a lot of the people that work at HART on the racing side were attracted to work at Honda as a company because of the racing programs that they offer internally. It's pretty cool. Question for Chad: What's it like racing with a podcast celebrity? Right.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I guess I've known Ryan before his podcast celebrity status.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
To me, Ryan's just a good friend, a hell of a good driver, and we get along great. So, the fact that he's made fame with that only makes it that much better.
Okay, question.
Podcast star, above or below YouTube star?
Oh, no, don't go there. Current climate, don't go there. Okay, so that came from I'm Just Jim. Thanks for the question. Next question from Steven Scott. Does HART still do club level races? Are there developmental programs for employees hoping to get on the HART team?
Yes, there is. Actually, when we put this program together for the NSX, we specifically internal to the team said we will not, cancel any kind of club activity. So we actually had, we had 4 or 5 people at the runoffs this year, and we have, the same guys basically going next year. We have a new guy coming in, Eric Coutil. He ran his own car this year.
He did. He's really quick.
He's going to run a HART car next year in the club stuff.
Yeah.
What we'd really like to see is to try and get more money from Honda. Hopefully, management's listening, because we'd really like to continue to run a GT car and then go back to running like one of the new TCR cars and have that as a development program as well.
Okay, why number 69? Nice. And who is Chad Gilsinger?
Well, first question, you can kind of say the obvious is there, but the main reason is because the last time HART won a championship, we had car number 69. It was back in the 2000, I think, with the Civic SI and the Grand Am Cup series. We won the championship. That was our car number, so we found it fitting to try to get that. Plus, 93 that we used before kind of is tied to HPD. Shank kind of took it over with the program. Obviously, we didn't want to try and push for that, so we came up with something different.
Okay. Who on the team has the coolest Honda day job back at the factory?
I would probably have to say me, and I think other people would probably agree. I think Andrew Salzano has a pretty cool too, but basically my job is I do all the torque vector tuning with any of our four-wheel drive vehicles, including the NSX. So with that, I got to go to Nürburgring, I got to go to Sebring, VIR, all these different racetracks. I'm also one of the development drivers for the circuit testing, so that helps a lot too with the fun factor.
Right, that question came from Jack Coffey, who brought me a giant box of goldfish yesterday. Cheddar, not live. How much did supporting the Shank program in 17 get HART ready to directly compete for this year in the NAEC?
It was huge, honestly. It was huge. We were hoping that we could, get a car ourselves last year, but in retrospect, I think it was better for us to work with Shank to, get a little bit more, of the understanding of this series under our belt, learn more about the car, and it helped us tremendously.
Right. Okay, last question was for me. It kind of pertains to you. What's it like to race for a team of Honda employee volunteers, and is it literally everyone but the drivers? It literally is, including one of the drivers. Chad Gilsinger on my right here is a full-time Honda engineer, like he just talked about. He's been all over the world driving Honda and Acura street cars to develop them. And myself, I'm a Acura driver, and we have Sean Rahal and John Falb joining us, who just won the LMP3 championship. Sean's a very bright future star of American sports car racing. And, he's shining bright, not mentally bright. And then John Falb and I have been teammates before here in Daytona 24-hour, and he's just one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet. So for HART Racing, Chad Gilsinger, and myself, Ryan Eversley, thanks for watching, and go buy RACER magazine.